Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today as we do entertainment review. I'm Michelle Mendoza, broadcasting from this beautiful place in Fort Myers, Florida. And you have connected with us for entertainment review. Our entertainment review today is going to focus on not only entertainment, but entertainment with a purpose, a passion, and even a hope for the next generation. Listen to a few moments of the song, and then I'll introduce you to our guest.
Walking through these high school halls afraid, locks on the doors, but I don't feel safe. Too many guns in the hands of hate, it's a new normal. We're supposed to be young and innocent, but it feels like those days just came and went.
Well, I'm just going to stop it there for a moment. We'll listen to a little bit more. Cade Thompson is our guest. He's the artist and the man with the passion to get this message of hope out. The name of the song is A New Normal. I want to take that on first. Thank you for joining us here on MyMichelleLive. Man, you're so much fun. We just started broadcasting, but as I'm broadcasting from Florida, Cade, there's like little tweaks and stuff. You're like, it's all good. I don't think I know a more chill person than you. You're awesome. Welcome.
Aw, thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I'm so excited to chat with you today. This is awesome. I'm kind of jealous. I wish I was on the beach with you today.
Come on over. The beach is big, man. There's plenty
We
of
go.
room. Bring your guitar. I got mine. You can
Oh
borrow
my
mine.
goodness.
That's cool.
There
And
you go.
we'll just chill on the beach.
I
Kate,
love it.
this new normal. It's such a great title of a song because that's kind of what we're feeling like after COVID, after some of the division of the election, but especially for your generation, after school shootings and what seems to be endless violence, it feels like a new kind of normal. So, hence the title of the song. And let's talk about where that passion came from.
Absolutely. So this song New Normal was written back in 2018, and the song really started for me. I was a senior in high school. I was walking into my high school just like any other senior would, and that day there was actually a school shooting threat at my school. And I remember the fear that creeped in on the inside out from me, and I was looking at my peers, and there was just a lot of fear of the unknown. I remember calling my mom. She didn't answer her phone. And thankfully, that day, all the students, we ended up going home safe, and it ended up not being a credible threat. But the fear that I felt in that moment felt so real. And as I was talking with my mom, I had expressed to her that a school shooting had been one of my biggest fears in today's society. And it all stemmed back from when I was 5 years old. My mom and I, we were actually dropping off my sister at middle school, and there was an active shooter at her school. And I remember kind of living through that. And at a young age, fear really creeped in that area of my life. And fast forwarding now to a senior in high school at the moment in time, 10 days after that, I was heading into a writing session, and I knew that I had to write a song about this, that we want a new normal.
Yeah, Kate, I can't even imagine that. That's the place that you're supposed to feel safest. Well, second safest, your home, your school, but knowing that you've kind of lived through this, oh, great, active shooter drills, active shooter possibility at your school, the concern about your siblings, all of that. That becomes part of your psyche. And I want to talk for just a second to an older generation who may be listening. And Kate, maybe part of the history of generations who have gone before you that lived under the threat of nuclear war, or Russia was going to bomb at any minute. During the Cold War, there was this kind of crazy fear that somewhere we were going to have to jump under our desk and duck and cover, right? That's kind of the reality of some of the older generation. So fast forward, this is your time. These are the things that are a lot closer to home than some country far, far away.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's
So,
interesting as I was processing everything with my mom, just talking about just exactly what you said, how different generations have different fears. And I think a lot of that stems from today in the social media world. Students are dealing with higher levels of comparison, of anxiety, of depression that honestly really stems from social media, that is something that was not had in previous
huh.
generations.
Okay, so you're thinking that we're getting our information from social media and even from the media, television shows. And doesn't it feel like if we're getting all our information from these sources, these are not sources of hope. They tend to feed, if it bleeds, it leads. And so they're feeding into this fear. Do you feel that your generation is kind of sucked into that vortex of fear?
It's interesting. I think, students just face different fears than previous generations. And I know for me as a student, growing up in today's society, it can be so easy to compare to other people around me. But something that I found at a young age is that we all have a purpose and we all have
Yeah.
hope that we can find. And that's honestly why I wrote this song. Is a hope for a new normal, that as we focus on the people around us, as we focus on the community around us, that's how we can make a difference. That's how we can be a light.
Well, you go even deeper, and that's what we do on our program. We look for the God story, and there is a God story.
Yeah.
That God story takes us beyond what the world will always be crazy. Maybe that's something we can glean from this. You're in one generation, I'm in another. We all have our own fears, generational fears, personal fears, issues. Um, but the message that you have is transcends. I don't care what age you are. That's a that you bring out a wisdom in a better normal, and that comes from the God story. And I want to cut to that because that's the message that you're getting out. That's a message that not only your generation needs to hear,
That's
as
right.
you really hone in on the fears that y'all are dealing with. But man, everyone needs this message.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I wrote this song. It's really just a prayer. It's really a hope for a new normal. And this is the God story in this song. I love it. In the bridge it says, "In this world there will be trouble, but take heart. Take
Wow.
heart. He has overcome the world." And in John 16, I find it interesting. Jesus doesn't say, "If you go through trouble," he says, "When you go through trouble." When you go through
that's
trouble. So
that's reassuring, isn't it?
that means we will go through trouble, but the reassuring part of that is that we have a God that walks with us in the middle of the hurt, in the middle of the pain. And God is so, so faithful. And that's why I wrote this song, as really a prayer that we can turn our fear into faith as we find a relationship with Jesus Christ.
That's a little difficult in this age when we've kind of canceled everything, and specifically Jesus has been canceled in a lot of venues. I'm a singer songwriter as well. I wrote a song that was expressly full of faith. I got canceled on Facebook. Are you kidding me? I mean, what? So it is really hard, Cade, that in this time sometimes to get that message out. How does it look in your high school, in your world? How does that look, the sharing of your faith? How is it difficult? Is it what's it like?
That's a great, great, great question. I think, honestly, the message of new normal is a message that I feel is bigger than myself. And as I look at the
Okay.
gospel, it's a message that's bigger than ourselves. It's ultimately learning how to be a light by finding our purpose and our identity truly in Jesus Christ. And as we can find that and our purpose, it's a lot easier to not be so thrown around by this world as we're confident in whose we are, which helps us understand who we are as sons and daughters of the one true King. And that is what I would say to that question.
Yeah, I am so encouraged by that. Um, you've been playing a long time. Obviously, you've been grounded in your faith in a long time. Um, as we go into a whole new world post COVID, I know kind of circled in on some of the fear y'all are dealing with in your generation, school shooting, active shooting. And it's not just kids in school, we have to fear that everywhere to a degree, the violence, the anger, and the angst. And now let's go fast forward from 2018 when you wrote this great song to now we deal with COVID and fear of getting sick, and I don't know, the zompocalypse. What's freaking next? It doesn't really matter though, because as you said, in the world we'll have trouble, but Christ has overcome the world. So as you move forward in this great message and your music, what else do you want to say to not only your generation but to the rest of the world as well?
That is a great question. Honestly, I hope that this song, New Normal, encourages you to turn your fear into faith and to focus on the people around you, to love, to live, to lead like Jesus in a way that this world says, I want to follow Jesus. And that is what I hope this song brings, is hope. And it's a prayer and it's a declaration that we want a new normal. And so I'm so excited about the message of this song. And I hope that people really cling to this message as their own and share this message with their friends, with their family. And this is the hope that we can have.
Yeah, we want people to share the song and get to know Cade a little bit more. I want to hear in our last few moments together a little bit more about your music, because people are going to hear this song. They're saying, "Whoa, dude, voice, great lyrics, good song." They'll want to hear more about you. What would you say is your passion in genre, in music, in venues? Where do you want to go with your music, Cade? I mean, here you are so young. The world is right out there before you.
Yes.
How are you going to take it?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I've been impacted by the power of Christian music at a very, very young age. I grew
Like
up on
who?
Christian music, like Toby Mac,
Come
Matthew
on.
West, Phil Wickham. Those are some of my biggest influences right there. And I've been influenced by the power of Christian music, and I've seen firsthand the power of the music and the power of the gospel come together and truly change people's lives. And at the end of the day, if I can be a vessel for Jesus to point people back to him, where their hope and where their purpose can be found, then I feel that I've done a well job at that. And so that's my goal. That's my hope for my music, that people would see that no matter what age you are, that you would see that there is hope, and it's ultimately found in Jesus.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one final question. This is your passion. We all feel like we're your buddies now, and we're all acquainted. This is great. So as our audience is watching, there's a question that I can hear you asking as you're watching right now. How can I help get the word out about Cade Thompson? How can I, what can I do for you?
Absolutely. Well, you can stream and share the song. That is the biggest help for us. We're trying to get the message out of this song. You can head to wewantanewnormal.com to watch the music video, the lyric video, find the song, all the content to share with your friends, with your family. And I would also love to connect with you on social media at Cade Thompson Music. So
Perfect.
I'm just so honored to spend some time with you today, Michelle, and thank you for
Cade, it's
allowing me
been
to chat
great.
with you.
All right. So are you bringing your guitar to the beach today? Because I will be there, and we'll just jam. And you guys come too. Everyone come. Come on.
Everybody. I love it. I love it. We'll write a song.
We'll be just praising Jesus, making music, and enjoying the beach today, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm in.
Perfect. Woo! Hey, we're going to let this segment end with just a little more of Cade's music. This song, New Normal, I think you're going to love it. Find it at MyMichelleLive. You can stream it there. You can connect with it there and get all the information on Cade. Cade, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. Have a great day.